A neighbor was about to haul off a pile of dead oak rounds last spring, and I asked if I could keep them. I stacked them in the shade, mixed up a cloudy gray liquid in a bucket, and poured it over the whole pile like I was watering a garden. For most of that year, nothing. Then one cold, wet morning, I walked out, and the side of every log was covered in oyster mushrooms. Not a handful either, but hundreds, fanning out of the bark in soft gray shelves. So, can you really spray something on dead logs and have mushrooms erupt in 3 days? You can, but not the way the clips make it look. The liquid is real, the 3 days is real, and there is an 800-year-old trick behind it that almost nobody explains. Welcome back to the Mushroom Archive. Let me show you the whole thing, because the part everyone leaves out is the best part. The liquid in that bucket is called a spore slurry, and the recipe is almost embarrassingly simple. I stumbled onto it reading about how mushrooms were first farmed in China, long before anybody had a lab or a sterile bench. What I made was basically the kitchen version of that. What went in was this: 1 gallon of water, left out on the counter overnight so the chlorine could gas off, because chlorine kills spores. A small handful of mature mushroom caps, the older the better, floated gills down, a pinch of plain table salt, and about a tablespoon of molasses. That was the whole list. I let the caps sit in that salted, sweetened water for an afternoon, left the bucket overnight while they dropped millions of spores into the liquid, then strained it and poured it over my stack of dead logs. And then I waited, because this is where people get the wrong idea. Nothing happened for months. The spores were busy doing something I could not see. Then a cold front rolled through with a soaking rain. The temperature dropped overnight, and 3 days after that storm, the logs lit up with mushrooms. The slurry did not make them appear in 3 days. The storm did. The slurry just made sure something was alive in there to answer it. So let me tell you where this actually comes from, because it is older than you would guess. Around the year 1130, in the misty mountains of Zhejiang province in southern China, a farmer named Wu Sangong noticed that fallen logs under certain trees grew thick, fragrant mushrooms. He started cutting notches into logs on purpose to catch whatever was drifting through the air. The Chinese called the mushroom xianggu, the fragrant mushroom, and donggu, the winter mushroom. We know it today as shiitake. But the famous part of the story is the part that matters here. Some seasons, his notched logs gave him nothing, and the legend goes that one frustrated day he beat the logs with the back of his axe out of pure anger. A few days later, mushrooms erupted all over them like flowers. That accident became a real technique. Chinese growers spent centuries refining the cut and beat method, and China now protects the whole tradition as a recognized agricultural heritage site. A mycologist named David Hibbett, who studies shiitake, actually traveled to Wu's home village, where the man is honored almost like a local god. So, what was really happening when he beat those logs? The spores that landed in his notches had grown into mycelium, a fine white web feeding through the wood for months. Beating the log was a shock. It mimicked the violence of a storm or a falling tree, and the fungus, sensing danger, did what fungi do under threat. It rushed to make mushrooms and scatter its spores while it still could. He was not creating mushrooms. He was startling a living thing that was already there. Now let me make this useful, because you can run the same thing in your own yard this season. First, the mushroom. After trying a few, the one I keep coming back to for beginners is the oyster mushroom. It is the fastest and most forgiving fungus you can work with. It colonizes wood aggressively. It shrugs off competition that would overrun a fussier species. It grows on almost anything, from logs to stumps to straw to old wood chips, and it fruits quickly once it is ready. If you want mushrooms erupting on a pile of dead wood with the least heartbreak, start with oysters. Shiitake is the classic, but it is slower and pickier about its wood. And oysters come in colors that match your weather, which is the part most people miss. Blue and pearl oysters love the cool air and fruit in spring and fall. Yellow oysters want it warm and push through the summer. Pink oysters are the heat lovers, happiest when it is genuinely hot out. So you are not locked into one season. You just match the oyster to the climate you actually have, which is why this works almost anywhere in the country. Second, the wood. Fresh-cut hardwood is best. Oak, poplar, maple, or beech, ideally cut within the last few weeks from a living tree. A log that has been rotting on the ground for a year is already full of wild fungi that will outcompete you, so newer wood actually wins. Stumps work too, which is why so many people get surprise oysters on a stump they cut last summer. Third, the slurry, the way I described it. Caps in dechlorinated water, a pinch of salt to hold back bacteria, a splash of molasses to wake the spores. Soak it, strain it, and either pour it over the cut faces and into any cracks, or load it in a clean garden sprayer and coat the wood. Then keep that wood in deep shade and damp. This is the step people skip. Spores and young mycelium die fast if they dry out, so a shaded, humid spot, watered whenever it gets dry, is everything. Bare sun will cook it. How much you use is forgiving. A gallon will coat a small stack, and you really cannot overdo it, so soak the wood down well and work the liquid into every crack and cut end, because that is where the mycelium gets its first grip. Then comes the hard part, which is patience. Colonization takes months, often most of a year, while the mycelium quietly eats through the wood. You will see nothing on the surface that whole time. When the wood finally feels soft and looks faintly white inside, it is ready to fruit. That's when you trigger it, either by waiting for a cold, soaking rain or by faking one. Soak the log in cold water for a day or knock it hard against the ground the way Wu did, and within 3 to 7 days, the pins appear. A few things the short clips never tell you. The spray is not what makes mushrooms in 3 days. It cannot. The slurry is just seeding the wood, and that takes a season to pay off. Every viral video showing an eruption in 3 days is filming a log that was already colonized, weeks or months after the spraying. They show you the fireworks and cut out the long, boring fuse. Oysters are the reason those clips look so dramatic. A well-colonized oyster log can throw a full flush in under a week, faster than most species, which is exactly why they are the stars of the time-lapse videos. The beating trick is real, not folklore. Researchers have found that a sharp physical shock paired with a sudden drop in temperature genuinely pushes colonized mushroom mycelium to fruit. Some commercial growers still whack their logs or drop them on the ground on purpose. It looks absurd. It works. There is also a reason a real thunderstorm beats a garden hose every time. A heavy rain does 3 things at once. It soaks the wood, it drops the temperature, and it shifts the air pressure. And that exact combination is the signal these fungi spent millions of years learning to read. In a bucket, you can copy 2 of the 3, the water and the cold, and most of the time that is enough to fool them. And one serious caution, this only works as food when you know exactly what you seeded, because you put those spores there yourself. If random mushrooms show up on a stump or a wild log, do not eat them. Several wood-loving species have dangerous lookalikes, and no online photo is good enough to bet your liver on. When you are unsure, you leave it alone, every time. So why does it feel like a secret? The honest answer is simple, and it is not a conspiracy. The old kitchen method never disappeared, it just got out-engineered. Once labs learned to grow spawn on sterile sawdust in the last century, that became the reliable, repeatable way to farm mushrooms, and the slurry on a stump, the messy and patient version, fell out of the manuals. It still works, it just stopped being the thing anyone bothered to write down. And once you see what is actually going on, the magic does not shrink, it gets bigger. There is a living organism threading through that dead wood the entire time, taking a year to build itself in silence, waiting for one cold storm to tell it the moment has come. Wu Sangong figured that out 800 years ago with an axe and a bad temper. We just put it in a bucket and a sprayer. The mushrooms were never in the spray. They were in the wood, waiting. The spray only gave them a place to start, and the storm told them when. If this video is informative, then comment yes. That motivates us to produce more videos like this. The next one I am building follows that exact slurry from the day I sprayed it to the first flush a year later, so you can finally watch the invisible part for once. I will see you there.